This program is brought to you by Alternative Cinema, your online source for independent DVDs and video dedicated to the enjoyment of independent and underground movies that range from the brilliant to the bizarre and everything in between. AlternativeCinema.com.
Welcome to the Killers Podcast. We're doing a impromptu show on, is it April 25th. It's a Friday night here in Manchester, New Hampshire. And my friend Chris Loveday and myself are sitting in my new apartment. And it's a one-bedroom apartment. It's messy from the kids this week and myself.
I was going to say, don't you blame this on the kids. Do not blame this on the kids. But
we're hanging out, man. We're drinking Jim Beam. What are you drinking there, Chris? What are you drinking?
I got the variety going on. I got some cheap Genesee cream ale. Then I also have some UFO Big Squeeze. It's a summer shandy with grapefruit. It's really good. I'm sure that once summer comes around, it'll actually be very tasty.
What does that mean there, summer shanty? What's that all about?
Shandy means it's a beer mixed with something. Normally like a citrus drink. Like most of them, what you'll find out there are lemonades. This is a new thing. This is the new kick this summer. It's grapefruit.
Ah.
Here, try it.
You sure? Let's try this. Oh, I can taste it.
It's definitely as advertised. You can definitely taste the grapefruit in there. Yeah.
For sure. So shanty, is it just a beer thing, or is that in general? Like, oh, I'm gonna have a shanty movie marathon tonight, meaning like a mixture of different genres, or is that just beer? Is it just beer?
I think it is just a beer or drink thing, as far as I know.
Shanty, S-H-A-N. Oh, shandy.
Shandy. I think a shanty is ice fishing.
Yeah, because I thought I heard that at some point, shanty. So we're hanging out here in Manchester, New Hampshire. We have the windows open. We're on the second floor of my apartment.
Not in the first floor.
No, not in the third.
No, not there.
No. I actually checked out the third floor, and the floor literally sunk so much where you felt like you're walking like half a foot lower.
Nice.
Into the next room, even though you weren't. So, I mean, what happened was, if first-time listeners, this is my friend Chris Loveday, and we did a podcast, Jesus Christ, 3 years ago or something?
3 years?
Yeah, 3 years ago. And I interviewed Chris because he was a paranormal, well, and still is, he was and is a paranormal investigator. And that's how I first found him on Facebook, actually. I'm not sure, I don't know what I searched for or whatever, and I was like, oh, I want to interview this guy. And he lives locally, and actually we've been in touch since the show. But I just moved, and I'm literally, I don't know, three streets or something.
Nah, more than that, but I mean 3/4 of a mile anyway.
Yeah,
within a mile from each other.
Yeah, so I just moved, and I said, "There's no more excuses." I mean, like I'm within a mile. So we decided to hook up tonight. And I'm like, hey, dude.
But not in a sexual way.
Right. Not anal stuff.
No.
Right. I don't think so. That's not what you meant, right?
No. Well, I mean, if you keep drinking that Jim Beam.
We are drinking shandy. So I said, dude, come over. If we're going to talk, come over and we'll record something. So
here we are.
Exactly, here we are. And if you're a long-time listener of the Killers Podcast, and you know who Chris Loveday is. So, Chris, for the new listeners, why don't you fill people in on? I mean, you've been literally investigating. You're like the real deal in New Hampshire for investigations for paranormal activity.
This is my 8th full year doing it, like full time doing it. So hopefully you can hear me better now, as Greg just pretty much told me that I'm a tool job.
You want to sit on it.
I need to get you an omnidirectional mic.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, if you don't mind, my next week would be great.
All right.
Yeah.
Omnidirectional mic. So yeah, I've been investigating the paranormal for full time now for about 8 years. I grew up in a haunted house in Goffstown, New Hampshire. That was part of the Underground Railroad, if you're into that whole slave trafficking thing. So walking in the kitchen and seeing every cabinet door open and front door open would not be a odd thing. So I've always believed in ghosts, and one thing led to another, and I started doing it as a pretty much full-time hobby.
Yeah, and Chris and I got in touch. See the difference, Chris, in the volume? That's your audio line.
I also have a deeper voice than you do.
Yeah, well, I'm just letting you know, in case you're softer in the final recording.
Am I going to have to go home and get my mic?
I don't know. So, at some point, Chris and I hooked up, not anally.
Not anally.
But we did an investigation. Was it Sugar Hill up north?
The Sugar Hill Inn in Littleton, New Hampshire.
Yeah, that was such a treat for me. I remember... we did our first podcast, and at some point I said, "Hey, man, like if you go out investigating, I would love to go with you." And sure enough, Chris was nice enough to invite me over to an investigation. And it was Sugar Hill Inn up north in New Hampshire, and I go there, and there's all it was actually. Did the other guys have a name for their team?
The team that we went with?
Yeah.
NEPI, Northeast Paranormal.
Okay.
I think Northeast Paranormal Investigators. Tony and his crew.
Yeah, they're awesome. So I got there, and Chris as well. These guys, like, they have all these video cameras and wires everywhere, and we had, what was it? EKG? What's that called?
Are you talking about the voices? Or are you
okay, well, here we go. What's the equipment that we used that night?
I mean, we're using a digital voice recorder, which is kind of the necessity when you're talking about paranormal investigating. Really, if you want to do an investigation, all you really need is one of those and a flashlight, so you don't trip and
Right.
bust your head open. So, I mean, that's what you start with. And then, you can start incorporating cameras and other pieces of equipment from there. But a voice recorder is the most important thing. And that's what really paid off for us that night. We got some cool voices, some cool noises. And I believe the term that you were looking for was EVP.
EVP, but I also had an EMF reader.
EMF, yes.
Yeah, yes.
Bump it.
Yes, pound it. Yes.
But not in a sexual way.
Right, we're not right.
EMF detector detects electromagnetic field. There's a lot of different theories and stuff about EMF. My theory is that spirits can actually absorb and use electromagnetic field, which computers give it off, microwaves give it off, refrigerators give it off. A lot of electrical things put electromagnetic field into the environment.
The power boxes in houses, what do you call those? Like the switchers, like if you blow a fuse,
like a fuse box.
Yeah, fuse box. Yeah.
Those, especially old ones. A lot of new ones don't, but a lot of the old ones, crank out that stuff into the environment. It's one of my theories is that I think that they can absorb it and kind of use it to manifest or to use the energy to actually communicate with you. So we have meters that we try to take readings with to, number one, see what's in the room that is giving off this electromagnetic field. Alarm clocks are a big thing. But another thing is that you might be walking through the middle of a room and get a spike on your meter and there's no source to it. Well, my theory is that the spirit absorbed it from one of these sources and is carrying it with them, and that might be what you're running into when you're in the middle of a room.
Well, it's really cool. Like when I don't know, you're probably so used to it that doesn't faze you, but for a first time investigation, when you have these tools and you quote unquote like sweep the room, you go like top to bottom, like wall to wall. And sometimes you do find that, your meter goes up, and there's no reason why it should.
Exactly.
And usually that's when you get, you don't really get EVPs till later, you know what I mean? But, like, when somebody says, I start to feel something, and when there's a good vibe in a room during an investigation, and you can look at these meters and say, okay, well, there's definitely a cold spot here that there shouldn't be. And the instrumentation is telling you that, yes, this is very, very cold right here, and it should not be. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't. You put the meter there, and it's not. There's it's 5 degrees warmer above and below, left to right to the spot. It's cool. I mean, like, it makes you feel like it's real, like something's actually happening.
And that's exactly why you have the equipment, is to validate what you're experiencing. If you're reversed from that and you're trying to validate what the equipment is telling you, then you're probably missing out.
Right.
I try not to really pay too much attention to equipment. I like to have it there just in case, like you were just saying, to validate what you're experiencing.
Right.
That at the Sugar Hill Inn, a lot of those rooms, and you can testify to this, is a lot of those rooms that we went into, you could tell that there's absolutely nothing going on in there, or you could walk in the room and tell that there was something in there with you.
Yeah, it's surprising. All the equipment aside, just the overall vibe of the room.
Yeah.
You just feel a nervousness or unsettling of the room.
I mean, a couple of those rooms we went somewhere else and came back to.
Right.
And it was completely different the second time that we went back in the room.
Yeah.
Whether there was nothing going on or you could tell that something was in there with you.
Yeah. So that was the Sugar Hill Inn investigation, and that was such a good time. And then we we kept in touch over text, but we haven't seen each other in over a year, I don't think. I mean, we did one of your podcasts a while ago.
I think you've been on 3 of my shows.
Yeah.
I think this is the second or third one that I've been on with you. Yeah. And I think you've been on 2 or 3 with me.
Yeah,
I think we did a show, and then when Tony was there, and that's when he invited us to go, right?
Yeah.
And then you were also there when Chris was doing readings.
Yes.
And that was another
I was
time.
At your place another time after Chris did readings.
I think we're just hanging out.
It was me, you, and Matt, maybe? Is Matt one of your guys?
Yeah, so we probably were doing a show then.
Yeah, some girl was talking about...
Oh, that's when you got drunk and we're drinking moonshine.
Yeah.
And you were like, you called this guy.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm just picking up pizza.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, podcast listeners, yeah. I mean, if you've heard our shows, you know what we're talking about. Yes, I called Grey the Dark Hours. I called this dude. We were at Chris Loveday's house doing a show. And I said, let me try to make some phone calls. Excuse Tom Cruise outside in Days of Thunder. And we called Grey the Dark Hours, and he was ordering a pizza, and then we hit him up with some movie reviews, and he reviewed Texas Chainsaw 3D, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, so, I'm having Chris over again, and I thought we'd talk, catch up with Chris. I actually do want to know about his current projects and stuff, because I don't know most of them. And then we're going to talk about some video games and some movies, geeky shit. And then we'll take some questions from Twitter and Facebook. So, dude, fill me in. Like, I know you're getting married. Are you still working at the accounting? You doing accounting?
I do loans for one of the local credit unions.
Okay. Is it the same job you've had for a while?
Been there for a year and a half.
Okay, yeah.
So, last time I saw you, I was working there, yeah.
So, what's going on with the book? I mean, you're working on a book. Is it hauntedhalos.org? Is that what it is?
Haunted Halos is the charity that I do. We do different paranormal events to raise money for local charities. I think the last thing that we did was a food drive back in November. We raised probably about... I carried it all, so I'm going to say probably about 200 pounds worth of food that we donated to the Share project, the Share charity thing, which goes to all local people. So that was good. We had a fun night at the Three Chimneys Inn in Durham.
Can we do it? Can we do a shot? Can we do a toast?
We could do a toast.
I want to toast to us hanging out again, man.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. More to come.
Salud.
We're drinking Jim Beam. I always thought it was Jim Bean, but Chris informed me tonight it's Jim Beam. As a mum.
Like a balance beam.
Mum.
So we did run and have a fun night at Three Chimneys Inn, who was gracious enough to let me put on an event there.
Yeah, and, you're doing a lot of things now. Talk about Three Chimneys Inn. Is it like a restaurant or a bed and breakfast in New Hampshire? What is it? It
is my second favorite place on the planet, next to Disney World. Actually, that whole area.
In my apartment.
This is running for second or third right here.
Right, or like 100th.
Yeah. So Three Chimneys Inn is in Durham. It's by UNH, like right down the road from it. So a lot of their business comes from UNH students and parents. It's like a old-fashioned. I mean, it was originally built in 1649. So if you think about it, that's
fucking old.
That's fucking old. That's 29 years after the Pilgrims.
Oh my god!
So the original building is old, and it's still there. The original beams.
Do they have a website? Do you know? I mean, could people listening look this up?
3chimneysinn.com.
That's it. Seriously.
3chimneysinn.com.
Wow.
It is a national historic. It's
I mean, do they promote that? I mean, is that a big part of the draw? Is how old it is?
How old it is? I mean, I wouldn't say rustic because it can be kind of fancy at the same time, but it's very comfortable. It's very homey feeling. But they literally have 5-star food. A couple of the best meals I've ever had in my life, which I love food, have been there. They have really, really good food. They have 23 guest rooms, so it's more than a bed and breakfast. I mean, each room has its own bathroom and everything. The Haunted New Hampshire Suite, which is named after me, has a jacuzzi tub and a fireplace right in the room. So
is that a special? Is there more Paranormal Activity in that room? Is that what it is? Or
no, it's actually one of the more quiet rooms. It's in the carriage house, not in the main building. There's two different buildings. In the main building where the dining rooms and the tavern are, and then there's I want to say seven guest rooms that are more active that are in the main house. I mean, it's a lot older.
That place is very active, right? I mean,
very active. I've investigated there 7 or 8 times and have never been disappointed. So, very active. There's a cemetery right on the property that's literally 5 feet away from where some people sleep. So, it's kind of get everything going for it.
And I do want to say that when I was investigating Sugar Hill with you,
yeah.
And if you're half listening, this is the place up north in New Hampshire. I did get EVPs.
Yeah, we got a lot of good stuff.
I still have the recorder of yours, by the way, with
Fucker.
EVPs on it. Yeah, I still have it.
It's like broken and
I was going to mention it to you tonight, but I'm thinking can I find it? I think I actually know right where it is.
Yeah.
And there's EVPs on the recorder that I couldn't pull off.
Yeah.
But for those listening that don't believe in, I mean, there's all types of different things you can believe or not as far as productivity goes. But, I mean, I was with my brother, Sean, who you guys would know as Brain Chomper if you're a long-time podcast listener. And I played him EVPs. And Chris would say, are you looking for your mom? And there would be this voice that said, I'm not going to imitate a fucking PvP. I'm not going to imitate a player versus player.
No. Please don't.
Right. But that's really funny, PvP. That's going to play too much Dark Souls. But, and I would play this to my brother, and I'd be like, dude, you hear this, right? This is your brother. I was in the room. No one was there, and you hear this other voice. And his fiancée at the time would be like, "Oh yeah, I heard it." He'd be like, "I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
It sounds odd. I'm not saying it's something supernatural.
Yeah.
What the fuck do you think it is, dude?
Yeah.
I mean, you know me. I'm your brother. I'm not gonna lie to you about this stuff. But anyway, yeah. I mean, so the Three Chimneys is definitely a really big hotspot in New Hampshire, huh?
It is, as far as I know, I'm really the only person that they let investigate there because they like me. In fact, that's where I'm getting married on October 4th. Don't be there, please.
I was going to say, yeah, show up, bring some wine.
Come on up, bring some fireworks. Shit, get crazy. No, I mean, it's really old. There's a cemetery right there. There's running water, and it has a granite foundation. So, I mean, it has a lot of things going for it. There was also an Indian attack. Native Americans attacked, like, the villagers of Durham at the time. That was right on that property. So, lot of shit.
There's so much history. Yeah, it's a lot crazy. Of stuff. When you go into the place, is there some portion of the lobby dedicated to the history, like articles about the site? I mean, the place.
They do have like books laid out, and then they do have a couple of pamphlets that they hand out to people.
It seems like that would be a great draw for business.
And there actually is a pamphlet that you have to ask specifically for, because it's kind
that shows the people that have been killed there.
Yes.
Can I have like the hit list? They show all the people that died.
As far as we know, a little boy has drowned there. That when there used to be a pool, and then a man did hang himself on a gym beam in room 6. So, and that room is really room's really creepy. If you spend any time in there,
yeah, he just overwhelms you with just creepiness.
I get lightheaded and dizzy whenever I spend time in there. To be honest with you,
how much of would you say? Percentage-wise, it's a hard question, but percentage-wise, how much of their draw do you think they put towards the paranormal?
The Three Chimneys Inn?
Yeah, as far as like word-of-mouth advertising, like, do you think half the people that stay there, like
5%?
5% stay there knowing it's haunted and stuff, and more. Yeah, so the rest of that is more of like it's historic and it's a great place.
80% food.
No shit. So it's just a really really great place.
Like Phantom Gourmet's been there, best place to eat at an inn. You know. Awards.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Like,
so it's not even like they're hanging on to that paranormal shit. It's just a great restaurant.
When I first started going there, they didn't even talk about it to people. It was very much on the DL. As I kind of built a relationship with the innkeeper and the people that work there, it came more to light, and they feel more comfortable talking about it. So they will talk about it a bit. They actually asked me, they were doing the Portsmouth radio channel there does a cooking show where they go to different restaurants all around the Portsmouth Seacoast area. And the one that they did at the Three Chimneys Inn, asked me to be there, and they kind of interviewed me while the guys were cooking, and we talked about the spirits of the inn and things like that. So they're starting to be a lot more open about it. We actually were going to do an episode of Ghost Hunters there.
Yes. Can we talk about this?
Yes.
I mean, can you talk about it?
Yeah.
I mean, how does that work?
Fuck them.
Fuck them! No, I mean, not in a gay way.
No. They would be so butthurt. So Ghost Hunters contacted them because, to be honest with you, I think that they...
And Ghost Hunters, the sci-fi show...
The sci-fi show had been on for, 10 years or whatever.
And Grant, and who was the other dude?
Jason, and Grant's off the show now, but...
Yeah. But those two were the main guys for years.
Yeah, for years and years.
Is the show still current? I mean,
the show is still on.
Really?
Yeah.
And...
They're finally saying now for entertainment purposes only.
Ah, really?
Because it came out that they've been faking shit.
That's interesting. They weren't, though, for a while, though. I mean, like, weren't the first few years,
you don't need
like,
to. If you're any good, then you don't need to.
I thought that's what they were all about.
Yeah.
But at some point, they just gave in. Like, maybe like season 6, 7, they just said, okay, we'll fake some shit.
You got to keep making your paycheck, man.
Right,
you know?
okay. Well, I didn't know that.
So... I think Ghost Hunters found out because I had been investigating there and talking about it and going on shows and stuff. They found out about the place and then contacted the inn to do an episode there. And the inn contacted me to be like the median between them and the show. So I was talking with the executive producer, and I put together like this big package of them, and sent him a bunch of evidence and a bunch of pictures and stuff of the place, and told him...
To who? Sci-Fi?
The executive producer of Ghost Hunters at the time. So they signed the Three Chimneys and signed the agreement saying, yeah, you can have the place. They wanted the place for 5 whole days. Not one night like they show on TV. They want it for 5 whole days.
Do you think it's to prep a lot, or are they actually filming for
Filming.
5? Really?
Yeah. And they just wear the same clothes, yeah.
Okay, and they put it off as one day.
Yeah.
No shit.
They put it off that they drive like all the way there, and then
I want to say this is an exclusive
right
with
here
the Killers podcast. Exclusive
with
about
the
how-
butcher
with the with butcher
or butcher
if
you like.
right about how ghost hunters actually. I mean, this is gonna be on Extra tonight, right? This is like
could
20.
very
This is
well be.
2020.
It is.
Okay, I just want to make sure that we're gonna now we're admitting that we're breaking new ground.
Yeah,
in
this
radio.
is 60 Minutes shit right here.
Okay. Yeah.
So the executive producer, they signed the form saying, yeah, you can come here or whatever. And then, so they're like, all right, well, we want to be here then. And they're like, well, that's peak wedding season. We already have 4 weddings booked.
You don't fuck with wedding season.
No,
Get down.
We already have 4 weddings booked for those days that you want to be here that can't do it. So they kept going back and forth and stuff. And then finally the producer left the show and it never happened.
No shit. He wasn't getting the cooperation he wanted. It's just too much. But he could not get the dates.
He couldn't get the dates, and then he ended up leaving the show, going to do another show or whatever else he's doing. So I mean, I put in a lot of work, so I was pretty pissed off about it.
Yeah. What was the show that you were hoping to produce or be in? Can you talk about that
a little bit?
Because it's in development, right?
It's being pitched to networks right now. We filmed I don't know if you want to call it a pilot because it's not a full-length pilot, but a trailer, I guess. We filmed a TV trailer for a show that's we have network reps. I don't even know what to call these people because they don't work for the network. They go around to networks and pitch it to them.
It's called Butcher, Chris and the Ghost, right?
Yes.
Yeah. ButcherChrisandtheGhost.com.
Beam.com. But so we are working on that. We filmed it in January in the freezing cold, and I was not prepared. They're like, "Oh, it's going to be a couple hours."
Sure.
So we were there at 9, and we ended filming at 7:00 at night. So
yeah,
10 solid hours of standing in the snow, wearing mesh sneakers. I was totally not prepared for that.
Great. They were wet at like 8.
So that kind of sucked, but they put it together well, looked good. I think I sent you one of the versions.
You did, yeah.
Of the trailer, and we're just waiting to hear back. A few networks said that that they're interested and they want it, and they're supposed to be putting together an offer, but apparently that takes time. So it's kind of like asking your dream date to go to the prom, and then she'll be like, "Oh, I'll tell you next year."
Yeah,
perfect.
Here's a fun story that Chris has never heard, and my podcast listener has never heard. I think it's a good story. Years ago, I was living in Boston, and this is like around 2000. And my friend Lance and I, Lance? Yeah, Lance. We had thought of the show called Fear Hunters. And both of us, at this point in time, I was doing internships on movie sets, and he was doing full-time dinner theater at restaurants. And like a mild video production. And we had this show called Fear Hunters. And the idea of the show is that we would go, like, look, while we research, us and the producers, would research haunted locations across New Hampshire, right? And then we would go to a haunted location, go into town, and then find a local from the town to stay with us overnight in this haunted location, right?
Yeah.
And we would use like Ouija boards or a Ouija board. And like
not multiple,
right,
to be clear.
Right,
just one.
And we would like, and the idea is like we're not investigators either, right? But we kind of know a little bit more than the average person does.
Yeah, you told me once that you used to experiment when you were younger and stuff, right?
Yeah. Well, my brother just fucked with me on the board. Like he moved it the whole time for years.
Yeah.
And like it would say stuff like, "I'm gonna bring an axe to you tonight and kill you," and he was moving it. Oh, I mean, like, I would cry. I'd be terrified. And my brother would be... If he didn't tell me until years later. But he moves it every time. I'd be like, okay, if you're a ghost, where are the car keys? And he'd be like, underneath the bureau. And they'd be there.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, oh my God, we're going to die. And my brother would be moving it. But the show called Fear Hunters, we know it was like, we'd like pull in a town with a van called Fear Hunters, and then we would interview people around town about the the location, bring somebody local as a lockup overnight, and just see what happens, right? And we got a producer in Boston who's made some movies. He loved the idea. He made a big proposal, like wrote it all out. We did like a little video talking about the show. He pitched it, and the Sci-Fi Channel really liked it. But it worked out where they liked the show, but at some point in the development process, somebody left the company, and it was like just left there. And whoever took over didn't want to take over any new shows. So it was just like dead.
Apparently, turnover is big in the TV world.
Yeah, I mean, like, literally, and I mean, the producer would call me and be like, Sci-Fi likes it. Like, literally, like, it was like, okay, there's a fat guy, a skinny guy, we love the concept of, like, bringing somebody into the town, and, I don't know, like, it was really well-written, the proposal, but whatever, it got lost in the turnover of the company. But then, like, Ghost Hunters came out, like, within, like, the next year and a half.
I want to say, like, 2002, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, like, it was like, a year later, it was like Ghost Hunters shows up. And it's like Fear Hunters, Ghost Hunters, and fat guy, skinny guy. It's like, But, I mean, it's ridiculous to just assume that they took the idea, but it just kind of sucks. Like, I mean, I'm telling my friends, like, I don't know if I can, I don't know if I'll be in New Hampshire in this coming couple of years or whatever, because we'll be filming or whatever, but anyway, I mean...
they're very good at giving up your hopes.
Yeah, I mean, like, when someone says to you, Sci-Fi is actually interested in your show.
They're like, you're going to be a fucking star, kid. You're going to be a star.
Yeah.
And then you're like, all right.
I mean, I had 4 suitcases packed up by the door.
I'm going to start spending money I already don't have. Let's do this. I want to get one of those Nintendo 64s.
Oh, boy, those were the killers, right? So, okay, so we talked about where you're at now, the 3 chimneys in. Something did come to mind, though. Do they have 3 chimneys? Is that what it is?
They do have 3 chimneys.
They actually do?
Yes.
Okay.
There's an inn in Ogunquit that's called the Tall Chimneys Inn.
Really?
I think it's borderline. I mean, they're about a foot taller than, I would say a standard chimney, but...
Well, that would bother me. What's tall? What's tall? I mean...
What in chimney standards is tall?
Yeah. That's kind of sketchy, right? Are they really tall? I mean, chimneys have to be tall anyway, because they're chimneys, to be above the house. But, all right, well, we've caught up with Chris Loveday. I'm satisfied. I feel like I know where you're at right now in 2014.
That's good, because I don't.
Right?
I'm glad you do.
Well, what's up with your website? So where are you, like, right now online, on Facebook, Twitter, so people can catch up with you?
Twitter, I don't really like using it. I don't think I have the app on my phone anymore. Used to be at Haunted NH for Haunted New Hampshire. Facebook, you can still find me on there, but I honestly think Facebook sucks because they want you to pay. I have a few pages on Facebook. One of them is Haunted New Hampshire, where I have like 6,000 likes or whatever, and I'll post something, and it's like 112 people saw this. And I'm like, that's something wrong if I have 6,000 likes and followers or whatever, and 112 people see my post.
Yeah, well, that's what... It's one of the most annoying things about the internet, is because, like, YouTube at some point, you could just post videos and get tons of hits, but now, like, they're all, like, sponsored videos. Facebook, you can have, like, a page, get thousands of people on it, lots of traffic. Then Facebook's like, whoa,
wait a minute. You're getting too good at this.
Yeah, like, you're getting a lot of views. Like, we didn't make money off of this.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and they're all like that. I mean, like, I've argued this forever. iTunes is the same way. I mean, at some point, like 3 years ago, you could search iTunes for movie reviews, and I'd be second in list on my podcast. Now you can't even find me, because now it's all comedians, and, like, no matter, like, you can search movie reviews in iTunes, and you'll get, like, Ellen DeGeneres podcasts.
What?
It's like all these companies now just fuck all the little guys.
She's worth something like $650 million.
I believe it. I believe it.
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Robin Roberts is worth like 26.5.
Yeah, I believe it. It just sucks because all these websites, they start out small and then use people like us to build up their content, and then they shit on us years later because they don't need us anymore.
Totally shit on us.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I have my personal page on there, Chris Loveday, and I use that one because people can actually see your posts because you don't have to pay for when you're a private person.
Yeah.
I use my Haunted New Hampshire page used to be my private page, and then one day I signed on, and they're like, you have too many friends.
Yeah.
You've had too many friends for too long, so you can't be a real person.
Right,
So they
right.
converted me to a like page without my consent or anything.
Right.
And ever since then, it's been like, if you want people to see your post, $30.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what the fuck's the point of that?
Yeah. They're like, hey, can we have your address and your phone number if you don't mind? And also, if you want to pay $30, we'll show people your post.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, shit. I mean, okay, so let's move on to...
Let's talk about TV.
Yeah, let's talk about TV movies. You asked me earlier about Paranormal Activity, the marked ones.
Yes.
And I shushed you.
You didn't. You
Shushed.
You put your finger on my lips. It was all weird.
I put my hand in your mouth.
It was like halfway up my nose. You're like, shh.
I said for the podcast. So my backstory with the marked ones, and it's funny you mentioned to me. Well, you have to watch it. You have to watch it.
You're committed at this point. You have to watch it.
You have to watch all of them.
You do.
Forever. Right. I own the first 4 on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
I mean, I committed to collecting them. And I rented the marked one. Is it part 5 or is it just the marked one?
It should be called part 5.
It is! I watched part 4 last year. This is the new one.
If it was completely unrelated, then they could call it something else.
Right.
But it was related.
It is.
Call it what it is.
Right, yeah.
I got yelled at because I posted something on Facebook, like, I'm watching Paranormal 5 or whatever number we're on nowadays. And someone's like, it's Paranormal the Marked Ones. Number 5 comes out next year.
My podcast co-host, Xander Kane, said the same thing to me. He goes, actually, Greg. Actually, this is actually a sidestep from the series. Part 5's coming out this year or whatever. Well, whatever. It's part 5. Between you and me. It's part 5.
It's part 5. If you're listening, it's part 5.
Right. So I rented this from Redbox, and I put it in.
Not in a sexual way.
Right. I put it in knowing I would watch it later at some point in time because I was drinking. I had company over. I'm gonna just put this in because I rented it. Just to get like maybe like 5% of what is coming across the screen. I can kind of get a gist of it and say, okay, this is the idea of the movie. And sure enough, it was like shaky cameras, like joking around for like half an hour.
I'd say 45 minutes.
Was that what it was? Right? Like, you're right. It's like, hey, nice sweater, Mark. And then they do that for like an hour, and then you're right. And then at some point, like things like might get interesting, right? Like, what's that noise? Right? Then whatever.
It didn't though.
Right? See, like I don't know. Like, and then at some point, like people were like coming in out of the window, like demon people, like witch people were like all around the apartment, and then it ended. Like, I mean, I don't even know what it was about, but I mean, like just looking at it like a flash, I was just so disappointed. Like, I mean, come on.
It was so bad. There was no ghost activity through any of it.
Yeah.
There was no. I mean, if you know Toby the demon from the previous 4 movies, nowhere to be seen. I mean, so I guess okay, you could call it the marked ones because Toby or whatever is it? Yeah. But they have spoiler alert. If you haven't seen it yet and you don't want to hear what I'm about to say, go take a leak or something.
Right.
They have the actors from the first movie. They do make an appearance in this movie at the very end.
Oh, you're right, Mika and the girl.
The kid goes through a door and he ends up in the very first movie.
Okay.
Even though it's 4 years later or something like that.
Right.
So that was like the only interesting part.
Which was like an hour and a half in.
Other than that, they teased that you thought you might see some boobs. They teased with that. Didn't give it to you.
Yeah, I mean, I just all I saw when I watched it was just people digging around the camera.
That's pretty much. And the best thing about this one was they didn't even try to come up with a reason why people were toting around a camera the whole time. It was just like, oh, there's a camera on this coffee table. I'm going to carry it around for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, well, at some point they just have to say, like, okay, we've done the security camera thing for a while. We've done, like, the birthday camera.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Denise, got your camera.
On the oscillating fan in the third one, that was awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I can't believe, because I'm such a fan of the series, I can't believe at this point, I didn't go to the theater, and I rented it knowing I put it on and would barely pay attention. That's where I'm at right now with the series.
Yeah.
But I'm still gonna. I rented it actually a second time, with the intention to actually sit down and watch in the dark. I did not watch it again, so now I'm gonna rent it the third time. I'll probably buy it. I have to buy it on Blu-ray. I have to buy it.
You're gonna sooner or later.
I have to.
You could probably get it on like Amazon for
probably,
$12.
Yeah, it'll
now,
be
probably.
like $10 to $12. Yeah, soon.
The first one I actually saw at Universal Studios in Florida. So like huge.
I've been in that exact same theater.
Like 30,000 person capacity theater, huge screen. I saw the first one there, which was badass.
Oh, amazing.
The second one I saw at Chunky's in Nashua. So I was having pictures of beers.
Yeah, I saw Freddy vs. Jason in that theater in Orlando.
In Orlando, yeah.
Nice. And there was this black girl in the theater. There's like 10 of us in the theater. This black girl just screaming, "Oh no, you don't, Jason! Oh no, you don't! Yeah, we fucking you!"
Classic.
I'm not even joking. And at the end, the black family comes out of the theater, and the little kid just saying, they're arguing over who won. One kid thinks Jason won, one thinks Kid Freddy won, whatever. And I go over there, I'm like, guys, neither one won.
No.
That's the point, okay? Like, neither one won, so stop arguing about it all. I mean, come on. Yeah, so, I mean, what would you give that out of 1 out of 4? Would you give it a 1 or a 2?
Are there half
The
points?
marked one? Yeah, they're half points. Sure.
1.5.
1.5. Yeah.
1.5.
Is the series just done now? I mean, like, is it just going to get worse and worse? Is there hopes of that it'll
I mean, there's
get
always
strong?
hopes. I mean, how many Saw movies did they make?
That's us as fans, right? I mean, we always hope. I mean, I've seen like enough Jason movies forever, but like you always hope the next one's going to be the one.
Yeah.
So you think there's hope that they can be good again?
They keep it coming back. I don't know if they'll ever top the first one.
Yeah. Well, the first one's the one where it's just the whole idea, and I mean, it's the first one.
Yeah, like Blair Witch Project.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah.
There's always that just odd end of it. So what else, man? What else? I mean, I have some stuff I've seen.
I've been watching. Talk about TV. I've been watching HBO series True Detective.
Dude, I just finished it.
Yeah, just finished it.
I just
yesterday.
finished it this week.
Yeah. We did so.
Holy fucking balls, man!
Yeah, if you have HBO or HBO Go or whatever, watch True Detective with Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson. It is the shit.
Yeah, we've been talking about that on the show the past few months, but we never really we never discussed like past the first few episodes. So we just talked about the introduction of the series, like thought about how the first few episodes went. But yeah, I feel we both finished it.
Yeah.
For me, I think, and this is True Detective on HBO. I think for me, the production quality, acting. For me, number one's the writing. It's exceptional. Okay,
The writing was exceptional. Yeah,
it's like I can totally appreciate all of this, but for me, it was a little slow going, and there were times where I did not know what the fuck was going on. Like, there's so much dialogue.
There's a lot of. If you miss some of the dialogue,
That's the thing is, man, if you go piss,
yeah.
It's like it just goes from one person, like one interrogation to the next. Like, oh, let's go to Joe's house and talk to Joe's aunt about blah, 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 back in 1980, and it's like you really got to lock in on the dialogue to follow the story. If you miss a name or a date, you're lost for a while, right?
Like they were talking about, was it Dora Lang or something like that? They kept saying, "Oh, Dora Lang knew this guy" or something like that, and I'm like, who's
so was you too?
Dora
okay.
Lang?
Yeah. So
I think it was the girl that was killed in the very beginning.
Yeah.
The one that they found.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't remember because that was so long ago.
Yeah, it's an extremely complex story and lots of characters, dates, and it's not all obviously chronological.
No,
Not at all.
They jump around a bit.
So you really have to like hang on every thread to get exactly what they want you to take from it. You know, but for me, the writing's so good, the acting's so good, and you can get enough of the story. Like, there's some maniac, you know, who's into witchcraft, demonology, paganism, maybe. I don't know.
I think they said voodoo in the
voodoo.
end. I mean, being from Louisiana.
Yeah. Like, the black magic world, whatever. Like, you get enough of the story, even if you miss some scenes.
That the last two episodes mean enough for you.
Right.
Yeah.
But, you know, I kept noticing in that how Matthew McConaughey smokes a cigarette.
Yeah.
What a fucking champ, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, can I just show you? I mean, like, and I know listeners won't see this, but, right, he lights it, right? But he smokes it like this.
Yeah, he grabs like that.
Like, you know, and people who smoke poorly movies go like this, right? And they hold like this, and they just kind of.
That's because he rips them.
They just pop it. He does this.
Yeah, he rips it.
He rips it.
Yeah, he rips it.
And this fucking dude, I mean, I swear to God, for 10 episodes, I'm going, this fucking guy is smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
Like,
there's no acting going on there.
I mean,
He's ripping that.
And it's so refreshing to see an actor in TV or movies or whatever to actually, like, smoke the fuck out of a cigarette, like it's his job.
Yeah. And he was phenomenal in that.
Oh my God.
Such good delivery out of everything that he did in that show.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I used to hate him 3 years ago.
Well, yeah, he was a shitty actor making surfboard movies and romantic comedies.
Yeah, he was a shitty actor doing, you know...
Yeah.
Pretty... Frailty was bad.
I mean, he's a real actor.
He was really cheesy. I mean, what was he in Texas Chainsaw 3 or something?
Yeah, well, what's that called? Oh, hey,
Renee
Next
Zellweger?
Generation. Next Generation.
Yeah.
That was like 1990 something, whatever. But yeah.
But I mean, he was so bad for so long, and now it's like someone slapped the acting into him or something.
Well, I mean, it's like Ben Affleck. It's like at some point these guys are like, you know what, man? Like, I have the opportunity to make some great movies, and I'm making like shit. Like,
and I'm making shit.
I want to wake up and really, I want to like make some meaningful shit. That's what happened to this guy. I mean,
what are your thoughts on him as Bruce Wayne, though?
Oh, Ben?
Yeah.
I'm skeptical, but honestly...
I was skeptical about Heath Ledger as the Joker.
Yeah, well, there you go. But I think Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne... For me, Ben, since Gone Baby Gone, like 4 years ago, like, he can't do... If this guy wants to play... I don't know. Let me think about this. If this guy wants to play... what would be... If this guy wants to be in the next Muppets movie, I'd be like, okay, he'll be great. Like, whatever. What the fuck ever. If he wants to be in the new Friday the 13th movie as Jason, I'd be like, he's going to do a great job.
He's going to do a great job.
Like, I mean, that's how much I put into Ben Affleck right now.
Yeah?
As far as making good
That's
choices.
how much Ben stock you have?
Ben stock, yes.
Ben stock.
Ben stock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this guy, I can't, I'm skeptical, but I can't help but think, like, Zack Snyder, Christopher Nolan, executive producing whatever, not the Batman, but the Superman movies.
Superman versus Batman is what they're calling it, right?
Yeah, and then Ben Affleck being involved. I put my faith in it. Yep, I'm putting my faith in them. I believe it. I'm good.
I mean, according to the comics, right, doesn't Superman go fucking crazy and he's the bad guy?
I have no clue.
I think Superman eats fucking crazy pills.
If Superman turned gay in the comic books and stopped being a superhero and just slapped people in New York, like downtown,
just started banging? Is that what you're talking about?
I would have no idea. I had no idea.
Did you see that the Superman Man of Steel?
I did.
The 40-minute long fight scene?
Yeah, I had some major problems with that movie. Yeah.
The first 3/4 of it were pretty good.
My problem with that dude as Superman, I didn't think he was like as personable as I wanted.
He didn't have enough charisma.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah. Well, neither did the dude before.
Right. Yeah. For me, like, you watch Christopher Reeve, he's always going to be my Superman. Like, he was like an amazing.
He's always going to be my Superman.
I mean, like, yeah, kids, look it up on the Wikipedia. This is Superman from Richard Donner. He had so much charisma, and he was an amazing Clark. And it's like, you want Superman to be like, show up at your fucking door and be like, hey, I will help you get your cat out of your tree. I will save the earth for you. Like, with a smile and like a good person to him. I felt like this Superman was like...
Well, it's a Zack Snyder edge is what that
I know, but he was like grumpy. He's like never smiles. He's like, I don't want to fucking
everything
do this.
kind of looked kind of gray in that movie,
yeah.
too.
It just wasn't like he wasn't a man of the people. It's almost like he was just annoyed to be Superman.
It's like Watchmen, you know?
Yeah, I didn't see that. I've owned it for like 10 years, 5 years, whatever. I've never watched it.
It's a lot slower for what it is. It should be a lot more paced.
Yeah.
I mean, but
I like the movie. I'd watch it whenever I see it, whatever. Like I like it, but it could just because it's Superman. I love Superman.
Yeah.
But
who's your favorite comic character? I like Batman is my favorite.
For me, Superman is my favorite. Batman's my second.
I had an argument one time with a guy that said that Wolverine could beat Superman in a fight.
What the fuck is that?
So how I won this argument was Superman could fly backwards, spinning the world backwards in time, and then kill Wolverine's mother. End of it.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, you win.
Actually, yeah, you can't really argue that. But Superman can just shoot his eye beams into Wolverine as he's running at him with his claws and just incinerate him. Or freeze him. Or
whatever, you know?
It's impossible. And I mean, unless
but he
Wolverine gets like in his sleep or something.
But he regenerates.
You're right.
It's fucking Superman. You can shoot him in the eyeball and the bullet's gonna melt or whatever.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, actually.
it is. Yeah. Okay, so we're talking about True Detective.
Oh yeah, True Detective. I gotta be honest though. With True Detective, I didn't like as much as I was hoping. It's just you know what it is. It's great TV. I get it. It's great. It's just not. It's not my cup of tea.
No.
It's just a little too much talky. Not enough. Like every like half hour, you get like a good hit and a little satisfaction.
Yeah.
Like a good action sequence or a good twist. Lots of like very slow. I mean, it's film noir. I mean, like if you watch the making of, at the end of every episode, they have like a 5-minute blurb with the writers, whatever, and the writer references as a film noir. And that's kind of very slow going, like layered type of stuff. And
I mean, there was no special effects or anything. I mean, next to no budget. I mean, for what they were going with,
it didn't. What would you think? I mean, were you very satisfied?
I got turned on to it by my cousin, we're talking about TV shows or whatever, and we're like, we just binged Breaking Bad and just watched it all in like 2 weeks. So I was like, well, we got to find something else to watch. And they're like, well, you should watch True Detective. I'm like, oh, yeah, I've been flipping through the channels, and, I saw that it was on, but I never watched it. And I was like, it's got two, grade A movie actors.
Phenomenal actors.
How it should be pretty good, right? So we finally started watching it after Breaking Bad, and we watched the first 2 episodes, and it is very slow going, and a lot of talking and introducing the characters and stuff. And I said to my cousin, I'm like, does it pick up from this, or what's going on? And he's like, no, it's pretty much the pace that it carries out. So I was like, all right. So when I started watching it again, episode 3 and on, I was like, what I'm looking for. So I sat there, having a couple beers, and I was like, what I'm looking for while I'm watching this show is the writing and is the acting delivery. I'm not expecting car chases and shit like that. What I'm expecting, this is what I'm looking for. So with that frame of mind, I enjoyed it a lot more than if I was expecting shootouts and car chases.
See, a few of my friends, I said, well, does it pick up? They go, oh yeah.
It does. Oh, yeah. It does.
I mean, in a way, it does. I mean, there's a couple key moments where like big action sequences. Well, I mean,
the shootout.
The shootout.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't a shootout.
Like at the farm, I guess, or whatever, right? I mean, like season 6 or whatever. But I mean, like as little action as it actually was, it paid off so much because of how slow the show is.
Yeah. It just built you up like it was playing with just the tip for a couple hours, then you explode.
Right. The tip's in for 6 hours and it comes in your face.
But
it's a good show, though. I mean,
what it is it's gonna be a series that
I was wondering how it goes.
From what I hear, it's gonna be like American Horror Story, where it's gonna be the same kind of theme but a different angle. Like, I don't think Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson. It's going to be 2 other people.
Yeah, okay. I thought it'd be something like that.
And I heard it's going to be like the next series is going to be Vice or something like that, going after drugs or something.
Yeah.
But I'm like, like, I think they just dug a fucking hole and walked away from it because
Yeah.
how are you going to top what Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson just did?
Yeah, well, I was thinking about that, and the story is over.
Yeah, that story is definitely over.
Yeah.
And what about the girl that Woody Harrelson was banging?
Dude, that was my next question to you. The past 5 minutes in my head, I've been saying, I'm going to ask Chris about that girl.
Oh, ew.
Yeah, and she's like, yeah, if you haven't seen the show...
Probably episode 3 or 4.
I'd say it's later than that, because...
Where he bangs her?
Yeah, I would say
it's only
like
an
5 or 6.
episode. It's only an 8 episode.
Is it only
series.
8?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, it's later than that, though, because I watched the first 3 a couple weeks ago, then I watched the rest this week, and she's in it this week.
So probably 4.
Yeah. So, yeah, Woody Harrelson's this cop. He's in good shape, whatever, good-looking guy. But this, like, maybe 20-year-old, maybe, I don't know. Like
early
18,
20s.
22, whatever. Yeah, he fucks this chick, and they show her, like, riding his dick and, like, sending, like, naked pictures, and at some point she calls him, and she's like, hey, I was thinking about maybe, you want to fuck me in the ass tonight?
That's the second girl. I'm talking about the first girl.
Oh, the girl from Texas Chainsaw. Oh, there you go. That's in the first 3 episodes. Yeah.
I was just saying episode 3, folks, to go on the record.
Well, there's 2 hot chicks he bangs. Yeah, that's... Have you seen...
And his wife.
Yeah.
What's her name? Michelle something?
Michelle Monaghan?
Yeah. They show her pretty naked, too.
See, I missed that. I literally...
He bangs her and Matthew McConaughey bangs her.
Yeah, I saw the second one where Matt bangs her, but yeah, I remember walking out and being like, I bet I missed that sex scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, chicks are amazing. Yeah.
The first... Oh, she's from the new Texas Chainsaw, the 3D
yeah,
one?
And she's showing her stomach the whole time and stuff, and...
They show everything, folks, so...
Yeah, they show inside her vagina?
Pretty close. They try to be time period correct, and they showed Bush.
Yeah, I've been podcasting for a long time, and almost every time the nudity comes up, I ask if they shoot inside the vagina.
Yeah, do they shoot inside the vagina?
Not usually.
No, I've seen some shit though.
Yeah, they don't usually actually get the camera up in there.
I have seen that.
So, what else? I watched I watched a lot of HBO. I rewatched the last because I've been sick. I literally have been in bed for like a week. I watched the last 2 seasons of Curb Your Enthusiasm. You ever watch that show?
Larry David.
I've
seen a couple.
he's in Click or whatever.
Yeah.
I watched Girls on HBO. I watched some Sopranos again. And just Oz. I watched Oz again. I just kind of... It's fun to like go back from shows I used to watch years and years ago to kind of just check in and rewatch it to see what it's like, whatever. But as far as movies, the one movie I should probably mention on this podcast is I watched a movie with Christina Ricci, Lizzie Borden.
Oh, it was on TV. Lizzie Borden Takes an Axe,
Yeah. Have you ever seen that one?
I watched probably about an hour of it, and me knowing the history and a person that's investigated the house.
Yeah.
I have spent 2 different nights there investigating. They were going so far off of what the story was.
Oh, really?
That I was kind of sitting there and like this is bullshit.
Well, yeah, if you know what the story is and you know it's bullshit, like it's not worth watching.
So it's kind of twerking my nipples the wrong way, but mixed. I think because a lot of people that I'm friends with on Facebook very well know the story, and it was like an uproar of how shitty it is. But Christina Ricci's pretty hot in some weird way.
Yeah, she is. She's hot and weird.
Sleepy
Let's
Hollow.
do a toast. We're going to do a shot. We're going to toast to the podcast listeners. Cheers.
For keeping us going. Do we have any questions that we need to answer?
We do, actually, but I do want one question for you. What was some of the major differences, do you remember, from the Lizzie Borden TV show and what was actually factual?
The true stories about Lizzie Borden and the whole family was that the father was molesting the kids.
That really wasn't brought up in the movie.
Exactly.
I see.
And I mean, I was watching some of it where it was like the cops interviewed him and like wanted him to go down to the station. They were like, "Oh, don't worry about it." And like, I was like, "This isn't what happened. I don't know. I didn't watch enough of it to say, to give an honest critique of it.
Sure.
But
well, the film definitely insinuates that Lizzie did it, but it doesn't actually say she did. I mean, she was not found guilty of the crime. Is that right?
She was not. She did get off for whatever reason. I think that she did it. I think that she had good motive to do it. If your father was molesting you and making you like fool around with your sister and stuff while he watched, and then you went and told your mother about it and she didn't do shit about it, and then one day you had enough and you fucking killed him.
Right.
And then there wasn't enough evidence or whatever to prove that she did it or whatever, but
right.
If you ask me, that's what happened.
All right. Let's see. We have some questions here. We'd probably have more if I didn't just shoot it out a few minutes beforehand. Mariah Adams. She asks, what is your favorite type of pizza and where from?
Do you want to answer that first?
My answer is very complex.
Okay.
I feel comfortable saying my favorite pizza is Papa Gino's.
Okay.
And
I like their crust.
That's the thing. They have great crust. And I also think part of that is because it's so interesting because is there not a different taste to every type of pizza, right? Either like Papa Gino's, Pizza Hut, Petrucci's we have here in New Hampshire, frozen pizza, you make your own pizza.
Portland pie,
I mean, like, it's all just dough, Chuck E. Cheese. It's all dough, sauce, and cheese, and maybe some toppings. But it actually is all very different, isn't it?
It's the execution.
Yeah. It's, I mean...
You got flatbread, you got deep dish, you got New York style.
Amount of grease, how much grease it is, grease, a lot of grease. Then,
cheese, how much sauce.
Yeah.
It's seasoning of the crust, like Papa Gino's has a seasoned crust that tastes good.
And because of that, like, I really like... if I want to order pizza, I will literally think about what kind of pizza I want, what taste I want. And I feel like I don't always order from the same place, even if I can. I feel like saying my favorite pizza is Papa Gino's. But with that being said, like, if I really am in the mood for like a really large greasy pizza, if Joe's Pizzeria down the street, it's been there for fucking 50 years and there's a pile of grease in the middle. If I want something like that, I'll get something like that. You know what I mean? Or if I love Pizza Hut too. I like Pizza Hut deep dish. And I don't always order by any means from the same place.
I have a couple of very specific answers. We like to get the margarita pizza at Pizza Market in Goffstown. They give you this dipping sauce that's unreal, and they have these ginormous pies. They're like Sal's Pizza, big, and the margarita pizza. So it's like a white pizza with mozzarella, like the big thick slices of mozzarella and tomatoes and stuff. I like that, and then I also like bacon and feta pizza. Most places can't screw that up.
Yeah, I like when people call pizza pies.
Yeah,
I'm gonna order pie.
That's when I
love that.
You're talking about quality when you're asking for a pie.
But see, I don't do that.
When you're eating pie,
no,
you want quality.
Right. This fucking look in Chris's face. There's something wonderful about being in person when you're doing a podcast. But I remember this guy on the Howard Stern show. You know who Artie Lang is? He's a comedian. Artie Lang.
He was in Dirty Work with Norman.
Yeah. Whenever he mentions pizza, it's a pie.
Well, if you're from New York, it's a pie.
It's a pie. Oh, I ordered a pie last night. But I never do that. I never say, "Hey kids, you want pie tonight? You want pizza?"
You could be like, "Yeah, I want pumpkin pie." Fuck yeah.
Yeah. But I love that. Do you ever reference that as pie? Like when you're at home, do you say, "Honey, do you want to get a pie?" Or is it pizza?
Normally when I'm talking about that, I'm talking about like 900 degrees pizza or like a brick oven pizza is what I'm usually talking about when I'm talking about a pie.
A real, genuine pizza.
Yeah. Like a real, not cookie cutter, and they make the next one out of the oven is the same exact thing. Type of scenario.
It's interesting. So there's a weight to pie. Like, it's more of like a genuine pizza.
Pie deserves a quality for a description.
That's interesting.
According to me. I mean, I could
It's true, though.
I could be completely full of shit.
That makes perfect sense, though.
I'm pretty smart, so...
I guess so. I'm just learning this, Chris.
All right,
let's see here.
See if we got any questions. I'm going to use your facilities.
All right. Well, we do have some actual questions here. Okay. Willis Wheeler asks on Facebook, what are your thoughts on the new Friday the 13th TV show? Are you kidding me? I'm looking up online right now, listeners. You gotta be kidding me. I thought this was a joke. The new Friday the 13th franchise likes its iconic hockey mask, machete-wielding killer Jason Voorhees. He just won't die. Its film installments are cheap to produce, have a built-in fan base, and have grossed near $500 million in theaters worldwide. Blah, 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 blah. Let's skip to the second paragraph. That means something. And this is from Screen Rant. Meanwhile, as the task of locking down a director on the next installment continues, Emmett Frula, Oasis Films, and Crystal Lake Entertainment are moving ahead. Blah, 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 oh my god. Blah, 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 blah. Deadline report says the project will take place in the present day and focus on the electric characters who reside near the infamous Crystal Lake when the terrible Voorhees returns. Oh my god. Dude, there's a new Friday the 13th TV show coming out.
TV show?
Yeah.
They tried to do that in the... Did they try to do that before in the 80s?
Yes.
It wasn't it horrible?
It was like I think it was like a every week was different, like a Twilight Zone or something, like,
or like a Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like every week was something different. But according to this, it's not. It's Jason and people in Camp Crystal Lake. If that's not enough head-scratching information for you, this show wouldn't even be the first Friday the 13th. But they talk about it wouldn't be the first Friday the 13th TV series. Wow. Wow, this is quite a long article. As mentioned before, the Friday the 13th certainly has its longtime fans. Don't they have any kind of content on this thing?
No, it dances around because
it's all dancing.
Yeah, they don't know anything, so they're dancing.
It's like 6 paragraphs of just fucking the waltz.
I was gonna say, it mentions Bates Motel. I watched a couple episodes of that.
Yeah, I finished the first season a couple weeks ago. On the other hand, many people were quick to dismiss the idea that cinematic serial killers like Norman Bates and Hannibal Lecter could somehow be reimagined in a way that the characters, as well as the worlds which they inhabit, might somehow give rise to compelling small-screen artistry. And yet, right now, Bates Motel and Hannibal are both among the more high-respected genre TV shows on the airwaves. I mean, I'd watch it, whatever. I mean, I'd watch it, I guess. I mean, I watch worse shit than that.
Everything's worth a view once, right?
Right. I mean, that's pretty cool. But it doesn't really give any kind of description into who's making it, who's producing it. Is a little side note. Game of Thrones star refuses future explicit scenes. Maybe she's in talks to do some of the TV show.
Well, they haven't shown her naked in quite a while, where in the first season she was getting banged all the time.
I heard that somewhere. One of the actresses was saying no more nudity.
Yeah, so that's her, yeah.
Oh, here we go. An overarching storyline that reimagines Jason in multiple time periods will be included as part of the package, with longtime effects artist Bill Bassa, who contributed to Jurassic Park, and character conceptual designer...
That's what they're talking about.
Oh, yeah, they're talking about the 80s show. I'd like to. I mean, whatever, dude. I mean, I've been watching Jason since I was like 10, so it's almost you have to watch all of them. I mean, I will give it a shot. I'm excited about it. I love to watch it. I'll watch it. But at some point, if they abuse the franchise, it sucks. If they don't, what I mean?
That show was abusing the franchise and it sucked. The 1980s show.
Yeah.
Never mind the Nintendo game. God, it's
my
impossible.
God.
It was impossible too.
My brother Sean beat that. He finally sat down. He's like, I'm going to learn how to beat this game. The world record's like a minute. It's like 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Yeah. It's like it's a matter of finding the best weapon in the game. Yeah, I mean, I mean, what can I say, man? I mean, like Freddy Krueger, Jason, Halloween guy, Michael Myers. I mean, I'm in it until I'm dead. I'll watch every movie, every TV show, but I mean, I'll drop off obviously if it's just, it really bothers me. Like, I don't care if it's like cheesy or bad writing, whatever. But if the people making it clearly don't understand what fans want, that's when I'm gone. Like, you have to give fans what they want. That's all I want.
That's where problems arise.
Yeah, and if it's just like a moneymaker from the name and. Whatever. I mean, that's where I drop off. But, I mean, yeah, I'm going to give it everything. I'll give it a fair shake, for sure. I wish there was more information on that, but the article I'm reading is all fluffy.
It's pretty fluff.
Alright, let's see here. Let me just check the Kill Readers podcast forum. See what any mailcast... Wow, 26,000 views on that. I'm just checking the Kill Readers forum to see if we have any questions kicking around. Okay, here we go. Brad P56 asks, it's a part 2 question. If you clone yourself, would you have sex with your clone? If so, is this considered gay?
Yes, it would be considered gay.
Is it?
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah,
yeah.
Banging another dude, even if it's you,
I
is
guess
gay.
so.
Yes. And number one, so... Is this the type of clone where you share the same mentality? Because, to be honest with you, my clone wouldn't bang me.
That's true.
So are you asking if we would rape our clone?
I never even thought about that.
Would you want to have sex with yourself? Do you like dudes?
I feel bad for the girls that have sex with me.
Yeah, see? So...
But if I'm by myself... And I can fuck myself.
But you're not by yourself. It's another person.
No, but if I'm hanging out in my apartment and I'm horny and it's just myself with myself...
Do you want to bang dude ass is what it comes down to.
I haven't even thought about that.
Do you want to suck dick?
Yeah, I've been dying for years.
Okay.
Like, this is my chance.
So maybe you would blow yourself. Okay. We have that figured out.
I never thought about that.
I would definitely answer no.
I think if I was home all day by my like a couple weeks ago, I'm by myself drinking all day playing video games.
Which is what I'd be doing if I had a clone, because my clone would be at my job.
Well, yeah, I mean, mine would be by my side watching me play. My clone would be like, dude, you're so good at this game.
You're so good at this game.
Right. And I'd be like, at some point be like, hey, like, you want to fuck around?
You want to screw around?
I think so. I think I would do that.
If you jerk off your clone while he's jerking you off, isn't that kind of like jerking off?
Doesn't the world blow up at that point?
I think something happens.
I think I would fuck myself. I think I'd fuck a clone. I never thought about that. I guess I'm gay.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh my god!
That means you want to slide your penis inside of it.
Oh my god, that's really... I don't even know if it would be anal sex. I don't even know what we would do together. I haven't even thought about that. But I think I'd be like, hey, you want... But I wouldn't want to fuck by...
What if you could clone yourself and it was the female version of yourself? Then...
Yeah.
I would, because that'd be hot.
This guy, I'm going to say that... that would be hot. I do want to say that Brad P56... This guy's been a podcast listener for years, and I think he's had by far the best questions in the history of our podcast. And I think I'm gay.
I'm having sex with myself right now.
I need to call my parents.
Says Greg Mo Roberts.
Oh yeah, Android Virus says he's another host on the show. He says that'd be very gay if you did that. Man. Jimmy the Gent says, if you could create your own version of Street Fighter 2 / Mortal Kombat style game, but with movie characters as the fighters, who would be on your game, and who would be the final boss? Jesus Christ.
Who was the final boss in Street Fighter the movie? Wasn't it
I have no clue. I don't know that series at all.
Wasn't it like the Mexican dude that was Bison?
I don't know. A few I think would be cool to play, as would be Frank Dux from Bloodsport.
Frank Dukes from Bloodsport.
Yeah.
Jean-Claude Van Damme. The bride. So he's saying, what's her name from Kill Bill?
Yeah. And the Pikey from Snatch.
Fucking Brad Pitt. You can't go One Punch Mickey?
And maybe the Kurgan, as they say it?
Kurgan from Highlander?
As the main boss. I don't know. Dude, this question is beyond...
Jimmy, you put some thought into this. I will say that.
Yeah, I guess we're going to have to answer this.
I mean, Jean-Claude Van Damme did play Guile in the movie Street Fighter. Christopher Lambert from Highlander did play Raiden in Mortal Kombat the movie. So I can see where you're going with this. I don't really know where Brad Pitt comes into play.
See, I just think, like, if I'm developing a Street Fighter game, like, as far as movie actors, like, I like this, like, Ben Affleck in there.
Tyler Durden.
No.
Well, I mean, it's gonna be someone
Like-
who kicks some ass.
Like John Goodman. No, for me, it would just be interesting people, not actually people who fight.
Like Walter from Big Lebowski? Like John Goodman?
Yeah, John Goodman, yeah. But just...
I mean, it can't be that...
are they asking movie characters?
He's asking for the characters,
for the character.
not so much the actor.
Oh.
So it would be like Walter
Oh,
Sobchak.
you're right. Oh, I'd be Al Pacino from Scarface. He should be in there.
Yeah, I'd be pretty...
Yeah. That's really funny. I mean, dude, that would take some serious thought to give you a real answer.
Like a full-fledged, like, 12-character game?
Yeah.
Interesting.
What a great
And do
question.
they have special abilities?
Oh, they have to.
Like Sub-Zero, like freezes people?
Well, that's the thing. It was like Al Pacino with Scarface. He'd have the machine gun.
He'd pull them and be like,
Right,
"Say
that'd be like
hello
his
to my girlfriend."
That'd be his move.
I
right,
could
that'd
see
be his
that.
finisher
I could
or
see
something.
That'd be like, yeah.
Wow.
Fatality. Good question.
Rings and things. I'm a bit of a noob. So, what is everyone's favorite ever care podcast that they've taken part of? Blah, 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 blah.
The one that I was in with the Butcher and Brain Chopper.
Ghost Assassin.
Yeah, Ghost Assassin. That was the first one that we ever did live. I popped the cherry on that one.
Let's see. Actually, yeah, you're right. You're right. Lurt6 asks, opinions on whether we have finally broken the stigmata that direct-to-DVD is cheap and terrible, with things like Curse of Chucky and Lords of Salem providing the stereotype wrong. And also, side note, also the podcast continues to rock, gentlemen. Xander and Android make a great host, and the interplay between you guys is hilarious. Great job. Finally, when can we get some news on the revamped KR movie night? I've been itching for some drunken shenanigans, and we need to, yeah. I mean, talk to Android Virus for as far as the movie night goes. I've been wondering that too, actually.
What if we had like a movie night where we set up like a big projection screen?
Well, what we're doing is we're having a chat room online, and people could watch a movie together.
I mean, we could be watching it in front of the big projection screen because
Right.
we're cool.
Right.
I have connections.
Right. But these guys online, they want to partake.
And we can chat it up online.
But they can't watch the movie with us.
They'd be watching their own movie.
Right, but they want to watch the same movie.
Well, that's the idea.
As we do.
That's what we'd be talking about, right?
Well, yeah, I mean...
We'd be like, Q, press play at 8 o'clock, right?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, but this is what we're doing for the movie night. Like, we had a movie playing and a chat room on the side. And
so you can actually play on the screen.
Yeah, and
Okay.
we all, on the computer, we did this every other Friday night. We'd watch the movie together, all at the same time, like 20 people together, and then chat along with the movie.
See, we could do that, though, but we wouldn't have to look at the left side of the screen. We could look at the projection.
Right, we could.
We could.
But they can't.
Yeah, that's their
Right.
loss.
Yeah. It's
Move to Manchester. You can do this, bitches.
Yeah. Talk to Android Virus, because he's working on that. I know he is. But as far as like direct-to-DVD being cheap and terrible, no, that's actually inaccurate now. There's the theatrical window is so small. It's crazy. I mean, like now you're looking at direct to DVD.
I mean, you're looking at theaters, you're looking at 3D and shit.
Yeah, I mean, now the better movies. Okay, I mean, the whole game has changed now. Like before, there was just theatrical, right? And then you had like, direct to DVD was shitty, but now you have like what's called like on demand or in demand, where you have a limited theatrical release, maybe in 10 theaters across the country. But at the same time, you can buy it on your local cable network for like maybe $7-8, right?
Or it comes out at the same time as it does in the
exactly.
theater. They say that all the time.
Right. So for me, those movies are also considered direct-to-DVD, which would be like House of the Devil, The Women, which was from Modern Cine, which I loved a couple years ago, Jugface. I mean, like Only God Forgives. I mean, these movies, for me, are considered direct-to-DVD, even though they are, quote-unquote, like, same time as theaters. I mean, all it is they're only in theaters for, like, a week. In, like, New York, Chicago, L.A., maybe Texas somewhere. And they do that is for marketing. Like, get it before it hits theaters.
Yeah.
It's hitting theaters in five states for, like, a week.
Places where there's 50 screens in one place.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's... For me, direct-to-DVD is by no means cheap and terrible. It's actually where better movies live, in my opinion.
Speaking of direct-to-DVD or Blu-ray or whatever, and rolling with the Matthew McConaughey theme, there's a movie that you can watch on Netflix, if you have Netflix, that's called Mud. M-U-D.
Yeah.
With Matthew. Have you seen that?
I have not, but one of our main writers raved about that movie.
It was a really good movie. He was the named actor in it, but he was kind of half the movie. It wasn't like all about him. It was about like two kids that meet him on like the middle of an island in the Mississippi River. And I won't give up any more, but it's on Netflix. If you have it, it's free. Watch it. It's awesome.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's about him Matthew McConaughey getting naked and taking a mud bath.
Yes.
That's like the last
and
half hour.
cloning himself.
Right. Yeah, see, he would fuck himself.
If you're Matthew McConaughey, Brad Pitt, you have to fuck yourself.
Although he has got a little skinny from my I had no problem saying guys are handsome. No, yeah, but like
he
Buyers Dallas Club,
which is a really good
Wolf
movie.
of Wall Street.
That's because he was skinny for
exactly. But the HBO show, little skinny, skinny.
Was that made before or after those movies?
I think it's all in the same year because I can remember.
You can tell this is around the same time.
Woody Harrelson was on Howard Stern like 3 years ago, maybe 2, but a while ago, talking about this new project in the works.
Yeah,
an HBO project with Matthew McConaughey. But that was it was way before Buyers Dallas Club, whatever. But you still get. I think Dallas Buyers Club was super skinny Matt.
Yeah, well,
gross skinny Matt.
Yeah.
But then you got like what was the one in between? Wolf of Wall Street was pretty skinny man.
Yeah.
And then this one was the HBO show was a little bit better, but he's still a little skinny.
So which way? I mean, they probably filmed the HBO one either
I would say towards the end, right?
When he was younger, when he was the skinniest, and as he's older, he's obviously had more weight. So do you think they filmed when he was older first, or do you think that they filmed it as he was putting on weight?
I think it went Dallas Buyers Club, and then
Wolf of Wall Street,
then this, and then like now you see like his stuff with the new Chris Nolan movie.
In Mud, he's in his normal.
Yeah. So I
mean, he lost a lot of weight for Dallas.
Oh my god! I mean, almost probably like a health scare, right? I mean, probably like the doctors are like, dude, like
Christian Bale and the mechanic.
Yeah, machinist.
Yeah.
All right, that's it, dude. All of our questions are answered. Thanks, guys, for contributing. Dude, this was a pleasure. Chris Loveday in the house.
It's been some fun.
Chris in the crib.
We got to start working together a lot more.
I would love that.
You guys should have a thing on your website just for paranormal.
Yeah. The website could use some love. I haven't really got into it in a long time. I mean, it stays there and it gets updated, but I haven't added any big sections, over the past 10 years, every couple of years, there's always like a big section or a new like book reviews or something or an enhanced forum. But sweet. What's this one? Adam Lofthouse says, I actually went to S World premiere of an independent film.
I think the S is supposed to be an A.
Okay.
I actually went to a world premiere.
And he says, How to Time Travel. Very good. Was that a movie, you think? Yeah, independent film.
I'm guessing so.
Adam Lofthouse. Sorry, brother. Says, How to Time Travel was very good. I actually emailed you, by the way, my friend. Today, actually.
Did you spell his name right?
No, it was in there automatically. I didn't have to worry about it. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this impromptu Killers podcast. Coming to you from Big Squeeze Shandy UFO beer.
And The Shadows of the Night Show on IPMNation.com.
And where are you on Facebook? Chris Loveday?
Chris Loveday on Facebook or Haunted New Hampshire. Or I also do, once again, The Shadows of the Night Show on IPMNation.com. Normally on Friday nights, but we took Friday night off so I could be here. But we will be back next week with Jeff from Northern Paranormal Research Society. So tune in next week at Friday at 8 p.m. IPMNation.com.
Sweet. And I'm at Twitter at Killer Reviews and Facebook Killer Reviews Podcast and YouTube Killer Reviews COM.
And if you have a haunted house or know someplace that is haunted or are having problems with paranormal yourself, you can contact me through Greg and I can help you out because that's honestly what I do. I mean, this is fun, but I do help out people.
And he will assassinate your ghosts all night long.
Even if it is a cologne.
All right, thanks for listening. Later.
Good night.